Update: Nigerian government strikes again. Starting January next year, even Olosho workers will be forced to pay tax. This bombshell announcement from the federal government has set the internet on fire, sparking massive outrage across social media. Nigerians can't believe it. Many are calling it the most unbelievable policy of the year. Watch till the end to see why everyone is talking about this controversial tax plan and what it really means for millions of hustlers across the country. Wait for it.
Itself still considered illegal. And if sex work ever becomes taxable, will the woman on the street corner in Mushin be treated as the same high-end escort flying first class to Dubai? Or will class once again decide who gets seen and who gets spared? At its core, this debate isn't only about taxing sex work. It's about fairness, inclusion, and the direction of Nigeria's tax reform. In this sincere effort to expand the tax net, or another case of targeting the powerless, while some of the privileged remain untouched, what will become clear from this discussion isn't about sex work, but about the future of fairness in Nigeria's tax system. Who pays, who benefits, and who gets to decide? Let us get to meet with our guests, starting with Akinkunmi Alaja Brown. Is a seasoned lawyer and tax expert. At LRS, he has risen from the head of prosecution to technical assistant legal to the executive chairman, and he's an associate of Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. We also have joining us Ene Obi, a women's rights activist and development advocate with decades of experience in grassroots organizing gender equality and social justice campaigns. And last but certainly not the least, is our regular in the house, Joseph Edgar, who is a social critic, columnist, and theater producer known for his takes on governance, culture, and the absurdities of Nigerian society. Many thanks to having you guys here on Perspective. Welcome.
Thank you.
I know this is your first time. As for you, you should be you should be even employing you as a full-time staff at this rate.
Good tax me now.
That's true. Mr. Taxman, and they cause controversy. Okay, let's start with the Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, who actually made this announcement. Let's start with you. Who actually made this announcement at the Redeemed Church? So, why do you think this argument? Why do you think he chose that to announce it? And what message is being sent by its choice of platform, knowing that in a church, the act of runs girl or sex working is going to be very frowned upon? So, what do you think about that? Him using that as a channel?
Maybe there's a nexus between that church and sex workers that he knows that we don't know. I don't know. maybe there's something about that particular church and that industry that they...
But there's already a conflict anyway between the church and the industry.
Maybe there's a nexus there that he has not, that we don't know, that he knows, that made him decide to choose that particular market, you know, to make that statement. There must be something inside there that, you know, because they see the figures, they see the data. So maybe there's a linkage between members of that church, which is one of the largest churches in the country, now with sex work. Maybe that's where his customer is. Maybe that's where those customers are. That's why he now chose that for her to give that. And then maybe it might just be divine ordination. You know, God works in mysterious and wonderful. We can't really explain.
Okay, let me get to you, Akin. How exactly does ILRS plan to trace, access, and collect taxes from such cash-based industry, secretive cash-based industry? How do you intend to keep track of what comes in?
Thank you. So I'll start first by saying this, that I'm not speaking for Mr. Taiwo Oyedele here. However, I'm sure that if you invite him, he would have time to elaborate on what he was trying to say. Now, back to your question. There is a constitutional obligation for every Nigerian citizen, pursuant to Section 24F of the 1990 Constitution as amended, to declare their income honestly and pay tax due therefrom to the relevant tax authority. It is from this constitutional obligation that the Personal Income Tax Act and now the Nigerian Tax Act 2025, which was one of the 4 laws signed by Mr. President, which is part of the broader perspective of the fiscal policy reform of Nigeria, that obligates every taxable person, as long as you're resident in Nigeria, to declare your income honestly and pay tax due from that income. So on this basis, what we do as a tax authority, which is our mandate, is to ensure that as long as you have a taxable income, you must declare that income and pay tax on that income, irrespective of the legality or otherwise of the income.
Yeah, but one would argue that this income earning is illegal.
Okay.
So on what basis do you have actually acknowledging its existence?
So what I was also trying to say is that even in international climes, what you have is that taxation does not focus on legality or otherwise. The provision of the statute says all income sources must be declared. I'd like to avert our minds to the days of prohibition in America, when the likes of Al Capone, he was involved in all sorts, racketeering of alcohol, murder, and all sorts. He was not prosecuted for any of those crimes. But the first thing that the American government could get him for was tax evasion. He argued, of course, that what I was doing was illegal. Why should I pay tax from it? But the argument of the government is that you have made an income from it. You have profited from it. Whether it's legal or not is another story, another kettle of fish. You have profited from it, then you must pay tax from it.
Okay, let's get to the video. Let's even see this controversial video that was made, that Taiwo usually made in church. Is there any way we can see that video that has ignited this topic today?
If you are doing, not you, if somebody is doing wrong girls, right? They go and look for men to sleep with. You know that's a service. They will pay tax on it. See why I did not want to use the example before. One thing about the tax law is it does not separate between whether what you are doing is legitimate or not. It doesn't even ask you. It just asks you whether you have an income. Did you get it from renting a service or providing a good? You pay tax.
Okay, but you heard what he said, Edgar. Now, what happens if sex workers or runs girls refuse to pay tax for this activity that they do? Do you know how feasible is it to enforce compliance without overstepping legal or human rights?
So the challenge here now is that who is the sex worker?
Exactly. Where do you even draw the line?
Who is a sex worker? How do you define who a sex worker is? Do you get it? When we give examples of other clients, those people are registered, they're regulated. Do you get me? There's a uniformity, of purpose in terms of that profession. But here, who is a sex worker? We don't even know who is a sex worker. There are people who indulge in this industry in churches. Maybe that's why he went to that church to give that thing. Do you get me now? There are people who are in offices, in hospitals, everywhere. The boundaries are so blurred. Who is a sex worker? The challenge we are seeing here now...
As long as it's transactional.
So the problem we are seeing here now is that we have a government, do you get me now, who is maybe because the number one man is a tax man, is an accountant, you get it. So the emphasis is more on revenue generation, generate, and not on wealth creation. So in that hoopla, do you get? We are getting all of this confusion. Who is a sex worker? Now, even if we even define and say a sex worker is that one person who stands on the streets, do you get me now? For the purpose of this conversation,
that's different from the girl that is a high-class girl that goes first class.
I'm coming. For the sake of this conversation, is that person who stands on the street? Do you get me? Where is the high class? Where is low class? And exchanges sex.
There's a difference.
I'm coming. I'm trying to bring an argument. Exchanges sex for money. What I'm just trying to tell you outside now is that everything around that act is already taxed. Her clothes, the road she's standing, the condom she's buying, the contraception she's using, the hotel she's going to spend the time, the phone, everything is already taxed. The only thing that I am seeing today that has not been taxed is her private part or his private part.
Well, it's being taxed for the use of it.
So are we going to license it the way we do MOT for vehicles? And all of this things just brings all sorts of things. If you are going to license a man's private part, a woman's then we can say, okay, annually you pay tax, which gives you permission to trade it. And then that also now start throwing up issues of freedom, issues of rights. Do you get that?
Yeah, but abroad it's legalized though. In places like Germany.
Good. So that's it now. So it's legalized. So everybody knows. Do you get? I am an accountant. I am a pilot. I am a prostitute.
Yeah, I'm a sex worker.
Sex worker. Do you get me now? Here it is not legalized.
Yes.
Do you get me now? So because it's not legalized, it is not easy, do you get me, to understand. Because he was trying to say that income, do you get, income comes into somebody's accounts. Do you get me now? Will I, since I've not even accepted I'm a sex worker, I don't even know that what I'm doing is sex working. Do you get me? Because, yes, I don't even know. Because I'm a young girl in an office who is dating ABCDFGH. And the ABCDFGH says, okay, come and do me something this weekend. I say, 50K.
Put you on an allowance.
On an allowance. So, do you get me?
So, boyfriend.
In my head, I don't even agree that I don't even know I'm a sex worker. Then LRS now comes to me and says, we've seen various incomes. How will I not tell LRS that this was from sex work, this was from, do you get, you know? So the point here now is that LRS and tax authorities and Oyedele have to do their job. They have a mandate, which is to ramp up revenues, ramp up tax, increase, widen tax net and all of that. They have their job. So instead of doing that job, they should confuse us. They should confuse us.
So how do you think they should draw the line? By legalizing it?
No, they should just forget about it. Go and look for your money elsewhere. Don't categorize it. Don't say sex worker. Don't confuse us, because you're confusing us now. Do you get me now? Go and look for your money elsewhere. Do you get me now? If you want to tax a young girl, do you get me now? And for whatever it is, don't bring that sex worker thing, because it's not going to work. Who is a sex worker? Everybody's a sex worker. My mother is a sex worker. Everybody's a sex worker. Who is a sex worker?
But there are those who just live off men. You can't call a woman who has a rich boyfriend that gives her money, equate her to the same woman who is literally has no other source of income.
But there's no way you will know
because
that.
There are people who also work
There's
and have
no way
other
you will
source
know
of
that
income.
from the bank statement of the two people.
So I'd
Are
like,
you getting it now?
Okay, we're going on a break now. Let's go on a break and then we will come right back. So we're going on a break, grab a cup of tea and then come back and join us in this very interesting. Akin, how do you intend to trace these incomes? Do you understand? If a woman works and earns maybe 10 million naira a month or 5 million naira a month or whatever, you know it's irregular. So you can see from her accounts that it comes in regular. And then her generous boyfriend decides to give her 10 million naira for a trip a service, a trip well done or well served. How do you begin to tax?
okay, thank you for that question.
Do you understand? And also, what about when they refuse? If sex workers actually refuse to pay tax, are they overstepping legal bounds or human rights boundaries?
Absolutely, yes, they are. So for us, what we do is we look at lifestyle audits, we look at bank financial
When you
footprints.
say lifestyle audit, what exactly do you mean?
So I mean, you cannot be an individual that claims that you earn, say, 1 million a month, and your lifestyle shows that you spend or you live, you're worth about 10 million every month as your expense.
What are their gifts?
That's it. So when you prove
The car,
to us,
the whatever.
yes, we understand that, yes, you can receive gifts. It is allowed. In this part of the world, people give gifts, which is fair and fine. However, the law says declare income from all sources. You declare this and say, oh, this is a gift. However, for that income to be exempted as a gift, you have an obligation to provide the details of whoever gave you that gift, so
But
that the
you go
tax
around asking them
authority.
these questions.
Absolutely. If you do
Are
not
you going
want
to
to.
tax every single runs girl or every sex worker? Are you going to go around asking them how the monies came in? I mean, there are millions and millions and millions of them. And like Edgar said, the lines are blurred. A high-class girl that goes to Dubai to see a client or see a boyfriend or what have you, and comes back with 10 times the same amount, 10 times what a street worker will earn, does that make her any different? How do you draw the line between both?
Like I said, so for us, what we do is, as a tax authority, do not forget that there is, first of all, a constitutional obligation, which, I mean, supersedes every other obligation.
But shouldn't that be made an instant, automatic action anytime any money enters anybody's account?
Okay, so another thing you should be mindful of is now, going forward, with the new tax law, every customer of the bank must have a tax ID to be able to operate your account. If you do not have if you don't provide a tax ID to your bank, you will not be able to operate your bank account and financial.
Is that a new law that's coming?
Yes. So what it is every document that you prepare must include your tax ID, which shows that, yes, I am tax compliant. So if you want to
But it's
enter
not
into a
legal.
contract,
Are you going to tax Yahoo boys as well too?
like I said to you earlier,
Okay, what about bribes that are collected?
legality, yes, you have. Okay, I'll give you another instance. There's a case of James versus United States of America, a 1961 case. James was a unionist, a leader, and he embezzled funds. And then he was charged for tax evasion. And his argument was, oh, I embezzled these funds. They're illegal. I'm going to refund it. But the Supreme Court of America held, no, you have benefited from it. For that year in question, the money was in your possession. And you would be paying tax on it. And that's what it was held.
You know what I think?
It cuts across every jurisdiction.
You know what I think?
Legality doesn't matter. What matters most is that the money has come to you, you have benefited from that money,
You know what I
and
think?
then you must pay tax on it.
You know what I think?
Okay, go ahead.
What I think, to save us all this confusion, is that, yes, that provision of the Constitution is sacrosanct.
Yes.
It's okay, it's beautiful.
Yes.
We love it. Do you get me now?
Yes.
Where the confusion is now is in you trying to do your job, because you have a sacred mandate now. You get expand the tax base and deepen it. It's you trying to make all of these categorizations. Do you get? If you just okay, know something, every Nigerian know. Do you get me now? At the end of the year, your total turnover will take a percentage. It just saves us all of this problem.
Which is what we're doing. See, the
It just saves us
categorization
all
only
of this
came
problem.
because
but
of
I think the
peculiarities
is
of
legality of the sex play.
Let me
I'm sure you do not understand that legality really doesn't
No,
matter.
that doesn't matter. But see, my problem
Yes.
again is that every documentation I've seen on this thing is people quoting America.
No, this is not peculiar to America.
No, I'm coming. We run a separate constitution. We have separate cultural mores. Do you get me now? We have separate cultural, traditional things. So the man in America, whatever his case was, Al Capone is not the same thing as here. Do you get me now? People can live on gifts 100% here. 100%. If government comes and says we want to be taxing your gifts, it's okay. Are you getting me? But the issue here now is that from the way I see it, not LRS, you guys are doing a wonderful job, you're my friends. From the way I see it,
So that they won't tax you.
Go in line with our statutory mandate.
No. See, LRS has been doing a wonderful job, and I'll tell you why.
Thank
so
you.
it keeps going up.
Thank you.
You get the tax receipt keeps going up, and I can see a very strong push on the outside to use automation, use technology, and to be innovative in what they are doing. So I don't have a problem with that. Where I have the problem is at the macro level of this taxation issue.
Yes.
You get so we are seeing the major problem, and the major problem here now is tax efficiency of taxation collections. You get me now? From traditional areas, the big multinationals, the big rich men, all of that. Now, instead of us to gazette these people and say, okay, how are we going to rescue these people down? Do you get me now? You start to look for all these funny small children to bully. Do you get, even if you tax all the prostitutes in this country, tax all the young men in this country, tax all the elbows in this country, it not reach one Julius Berger, sorry to call that name on there, it not reach one giant multinational. So are we being efficient in taxing these people?
The energy to be saved for the bigger, much bigger fish.
I'm seeing struggling entrepreneurs getting tax receipts of 300 million. 300 million. A struggling man with selling TV, 300 million. But meanwhile, we all know what is going on now. All these big people, what taxes do they pay vis-a-vis what they are earning? They are now pursuing sex worker on the Alley Avenue. How much will sex worker give you? That's why I agreed to come for this session today, to come and say this one very clearly. You see, no matter the amount of money, it's like during COVID, one bank woke up and said they want to save costs. They want to sack T gas. And I called them and I said, how much is your wage bill monthly? They say 8 billion monthly. How much will you save from sacking T-Gas? 500 million. You get sense? So how much are you going to collect from all the prostitutes in Nigeria, Yahoo boys in Nigeria? That's up to 5% of what you collect.
How do you even avoid it becoming?
Go and tell your guys, your usually person, go and be more efficient in the big oceans.
But I want to be speaking of that. But how do you now avoid it becoming a tool for harassment, blackmail, or exploitation?
Absolutely. See, so the laws are very clear. The only authority charged with the mandate to demand for tax is the tax authority. At the federal level, which is the NRS, and then the SIRS for the various states, and then the FCT itself. So there is no way any other authority or agency would ask you for tax in terms of administration other than the tax authority. So you cannot be harassed.
Everybody
so the mandates are quite clear. So however, let me go to what you were saying.
Let him talk.
Let me talk, you talk.
Okay.
Everybody wants to pay tax.
No, I don't agree with you.
I don't agree with you.
I don't agree with you.
Most people
That's why
want to
people
pay
create
tax.
tax havens now.
Most people want to pay tax.
That's what you think.
Let me use the word most.
Yeah, most. But in fact, most of the wealthy people, they can afford it.
But
they will have tax havens.
And that's what I like.
Yes.
That's what I like what LRS do. I don't know about the federal, I don't know about other states. You get?
Yeah, but we're speaking generally.
Yes, generally. So the ease with which you get assessed for tax is one thing.
Yes.
You get? Another thing is when somebody comes and gives you a figure, you begin to ask yourself, what is going on? What am I selling? That am I getting this kind of figure? The other friend of mine called me. It's got 300 million. 300 million. He has not been able to pay. He has not been able to pay staff salary for the past 2 months. So you now come and give me 300 million. Then you now put that thing on his door. That sticker.
Well, but do you overtax? I don't think so.
So let me explain. Like I said to you, the problem that we have, and then people tend to misconstrue what the law has said. The law has said declare your income honestly, so which means you have a mandate to file your returns honestly.
Okay.
But what we have in practice is half of the people that complain and say, oh, I'm being taxed excessively, do not file returns. The law has then mandated the tax authority to raise an assessment based on the best of its judgment.
Okay.
I look at your business, I look at your contemporaries. I'm saying, oh, you're operating in Ikoyi. I mean, this is what your business is worth, and then I raise an assessment.
So just
Then people then
based
cry
on
wolf
assumption, based on
and now
assumption.
say, oh my God, they raised me. If you have, I tell people, even my mother, I tell her, you're a pensioner, but the law says you must declare that income and say, all I receive is my pension income and then my rental income. On that rental income, then
But isn't there a way
10%.
you can have a relationship, a symbiotic relationship with the banks, where people who now earn or don't want to declare their full income, you already automatically know? If, for instance, I made 100 million this year or 10 million this year or whatever, even if I tell the taxman otherwise, my bank accounts
Absolutely.
should read that.
The new
so
tax
why
law.
don't you have a direct relationship
That's
with
what I'm saying.
banks?
So the new tax
So
law
you
has
don't have to
provided
rely
that
on
to operate your
customers,
operate your bank
people.
account or financial institution, any engagement you're having with them, you must include your tax ID. So now the bankers also have another statutory obligation to provide quarterly returns to the IRS of customers, new customers, existing customers that do transactions between for 25 million for individuals monthly. A turnover of 25 million in your account monthly for an individual, the bank is supposed to spook the IRS and say, oh, this person is doing transactions of 25 million. For corporate entities, it's 100 million. So these returns come quarterly to say, oh, XYZ has done a transaction of 25 million, and then we write
So
to
they
you.
do this for every single person
This
that has
is
a bank
now,
account
that
in
is the
Nigeria.
provision of the law now.
Yeah,
So
okay.
which means they have an obligation to do it, which if they fail on that obligation, the IRS will go after the banks.
Okay, let's go on another break, another break, and then we'll bring in our guests from Abuja. So see you right back. Get your tea and coffee, as I usually say. I'll see you in a minute or two. Welcome back to Perspective. So can we have Ena Obi in the house, please? She's in Abuja. Are you there? Welcome, Ena.
Yes, I am.
So good to see you. Now, I don't know whether you caught a bit of the conversation that I've been having with my guests here, but I want to ask concerning this taxing of sex workers. Do you think this policy could end up criminalizing women twice? First for sex work, then for tax evasion?
Thank you very much for having me, and thank you for the questions. Greetings to the other guests in the house. When you are talking about, taxation, and you are talking of commercial sex workers, I think we need to step back a little because of issues of human rights. You are looking at taxation and tax justice. Who are you taxing? If you're looking at Nigeria right now, I would say more than 100 million Nigerians are living below the poverty line. The burden of poverty most of the time is on women. I'm not giving any justification. By talking about sex workers, it doesn't mean that we're justifying, where we are. In Nigeria, it is illegal because many commercial sex workers, all the time, they get arrested. There are people who have been arrested before. Sometimes the security agencies go to the streets to arrest women. I remember on the streets of Abuja one time, a girl went out in the evening just to go and buy Indomie, and she was wrapped up, thrown into a car with other women, and they were taken to the police station. She was also raped, wow. By the security agencies, and they were eventually taken to court, put as crimes that they are prostitutes and all of that. So who are you expecting a tax from? It is criminalized. And so I remember that Senator Ekweremadu Madu in the 9th Assembly, or is it the 8th Assembly rather, tried to bring up a law, a bill, legalizing. Everybody criticized him. The action is that every citizen needs to be protected. And so if they are citizens, you now recognize it. And many people don't even recognize them. There is a lot of stigmatization, yet they are in a real world because commercial sex workers is a reality in our society. And you don't you are not, in countries such as, Germany, New Zealand, they legalize, and so they of course pay taxes. But in paying those taxes, they also have social amenities. They have different things, benefits and they're protected. Meaning that because those who face gender-based violence more are are commercial sex workers. They are not safe where they are. They are not safe with their clients. Nobody protects them. The government does not protect them. And so you come up now and say they have to pay tax. What are the things? I think the drive for taxation by the Nigerian government, there is a kind of craze about this drive. The kind of people, the new tax law, the kind of people you want to pay taxes. What are you, those who are paying taxes, what are you doing for them? Can you look at the cost of governance? Are you looking for money for your governance? Can you look at the cost of governance and reduce it from the political class? And so that we can have some meaningful lives. I remember as well, I used to live in Lagos, and during the government of Governor Fashola, I can tell you that Lagosians would take themselves to the tax office and say, tax me, I want to pay tax, because they were seeing their taxes working. But across so many roads, I know they are trying to do some roads now, but there is no road maintenance. The feeling you are watching trailers, you know, the Nigerian National Union of Road Transport Owners and Workers and so on. You need to go through the roads of Nigeria. I go crisscross to different, states across the country. What is our, our government doing for us? What is our taxes doing for us? As a development worker, I know how much tax I used to pay. And I can tell you, so when we are challenging government, we want to see reasons why you want to start this billing. Are you going to legalize something you have not legalized? How do you start charging? The government of the US, United States, and the government of India, they have partial. And in that partiality, it doesn't include brothels and all. And so when you are looking at taxation, therefore, you need to look at the steps you are taking. You need to look at, the protection around the commercial sex workers. Who are they? Are they human beings? Are they people's daughters? So we need to look at who they are. And I think every woman is categorized. A lot of people are categorizing women as shawo. And I can tell you some of the researches we did. In one place we were having a conversation within the security sector, and they were like, when we're talking that some prostitutes, or some commercial sex workers were raped, they were laughing. Very senior people in the security force say, then they rape Ashawo. And so who is Ashawo? That's to tell you. One instance I can tell you was when women were just arrested from some workers were arrested, and they took them to the police station. And they were going to rape them, and the women were crying. It's like, can you use condom or something? They use pure water sachet. Wow. That's to tell you the degradation or the dignity, the indignity of and the decadence in morality of what these women are facing. I want to also step back to tell you something. When I was in school, as a girl growing up in northern Nigeria, many of the girls that I went to primary school with, they did not go to secondary school. They were married off early. And so many of them, and as I went to secondary school and went to the university, I left a lot of them behind. Those who were married off at the age of 9, 10, 11, 12, many of them did not last in the marriages till they were at the age of 20. They had no skills. Many of them went into, join the commercial sex workers. So I have sisters or cousins and all of that who went into that, not out of their own, because the system did not give them the status to be able, the opportunity to grow and to grow as dignified African women, which is one of the things that we believe in, from the setup of an African, where you grow up nicely in your parents' home and you look up to your wedding day. There's a lot of discussion. We have women in IDP camps. We have women who are thrown out of their homes and all of that. That's not a justification. But now you want to tax them. You don't protect them. They are harassed every day. They are challenged every day. And then you go into, you don't protect them from their clients, because when you legalize, you start protecting them, meaning that they can go and report, and do so many things that you have a protection. You want to start taxing them. What are we doing with the Nigerian government? I think we need to challenge ourselves.
Okay.
Who to pay tax? You have so many citizens that are not working. More than 62% of Nigerians are young people who are ready to work. There are no industries. We have our refineries, 4 huge refineries, not working. What do you want them to do?
Okay. Thank you.
And then you are looking for those who are indignifying themselves, in order to earn resources to raise their children.
Okay. Thank you, Ene, for that very comprehensive response. You heard what and it just said, you know, and the truth of the matter is that anybody that pays tax is entitled to healthcare, pension, workplace protection, but these people are vulnerable. They're not, they don't have all these benefits. So how do you now address that? Because it's one hand for you to say you're taxing them, but on the other hand, are they getting any benefits from this tax that you're taxing them? And then also, can you explain what Section 36 is? How does this violate Section 36? What's your ease of compliance with your tax collection?
Okay, thank you. I'd like to first of all start by saying that I feel what Madam Ene has just said. I'm very compassionate about the industry. However, sadly, the issue of criminalizing the act is not an issue for the tax authority. It's for the law enforcement and the legislature. Our mandate is to collect tax from every taxable person. As it were, today, the penal code in the north and criminal code in the south, neither of those laws criminalizes prostitution, but what it does is criminalizes the acts around prostitution.
No. It makes them entitled to all the benefits that other people get who are not sex workers.
So now let me now go to that now. On the issue of benefits, obligations come before rights. You have an obligation to do this before then you can demand.
Yeah, but when it is not legal, how are the benefits of this?
Like I said, legality of your source of income is not necessarily the mandate or the business of the tax authority.
Okay.
We just follow the income. Once there's an income that you cannot explain, that did not come as a gift. If it comes as a gift, we understand here and there.
Income.
So an income is money that is received on a regular basis. So you receive a gift this year, like you just said, someone gave you 10 million, for instance.
But you can say regular basis.
Someone gave you 10 million, for instance. This 10 million, you said it's a gift. Good, I'm happy for you. Good. However, give us the name and the tax ID of the person that gave you this gift. So we run through our system. Is the person a resident of Lagos State? Yes. Has the person paid tax in Nigeria? Yes. And then we see the income that the person cannot declare an income of 1 million and gift you 10 million. It does not add up. That's why I said we look at lifestyle audits, we look at financial footprints. What we're trying to do, I understand what Madam Ene said. We're not looking at the woman on the streets to pay as much as whoever is flying all around the world and living on boats and yachts and everything. Exactly. So the new tax frame, according to the tax law right now, says that the first 800,000 is free for everybody. Which, according to annually.
Okay, annually.
Your first 800,000 is free. It's taxed at 0%. And according to statistics now, majority of taxable persons in Nigeria within the tax net now would either be paying nothing or will be paying less. So it is people that are the upper echelon that are earning so much that will be taxed at 25%. So if you do the maths, you see that it is not necessarily affecting as bad the man on the streets as it will affect the billionaires that are making so much money.
So the earns 2 million per annum.
So for the 2 million per annum now, so what the law says is your first 800,000 is free.
I know.
And then there's also another additional relief of 500,000 naira or 20% of your rental value that you pay per annum, which you get. So it's either 500 naira or 20% of your rental, your rent. You get that in addition. Then you also have all those your benefits, all the other. You have your NHIS, you have your housing fund. All these contributions that you make will be deducted before. So by the time you look at it,
people who work in normal.
Yes, but on your own, you can decide to subscribe to these things. And so all these deductions will make. So on the long run, what you tend to see is that you're paying little or less. However, people that earn more will actually be paying more going forward. Now, on the issue of Section 36, which is the right to fair hearing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Which is why the law does not say that the tax authority should, on its own, just arrive at an assessment and just serve you. You have been given a window, a leeway, to file your returns, to declare honestly what you owe, what you believe I have earned, and this is how much I'm to pay, and then go ahead and pay. I would like to digress again, talk about the Fifth Amendment in America, which is the right that, almost every American would know that right, that, oh yes, my Fifth Amendment right. Your Fifth Amendment right does not preclude you from declaring an income, even if the income was stolen. The only thing that it will preclude you from doing is to say, I stole it. But you can declare the income. You must, not can, you must declare it. But you may now say, oh, I choose not to tell you where I got it from. But it's an income that you can tax. So that's where we all should be looking at that. So what we're trying to encourage is the principle of honesty. Come forward and say, oh, this is all I have. This is all I have earned. And then the tax authority looks at it and says, oh, based on this, this is what you should pay as tax. We all should be looking at contributing our quota into nation building.
Okay, so two things I want to say here now. Is that the beauty of democracy, do you get me? I don't know, I could be wrong. You get now, didn't come into play in the process that has led us to this place. So I listened to Madam Ene very well, very beautifully. But I think that this argument has come a little bit too late. Do you get? Because it's a democratic environment. This tax reforms have been going on right from the day that the president won the election. We always knew that he was going to do tax reforms.
Yeah, but the argument is that
what kinds of
tax even be on Nigeria's priority list?
Yes, it should be.
This particular tax of sex workers.
No, I'm coming. You see, we must achieve tax efficiency in tax collections. Very importantly. You get it? Now, what they are doing with the money is being raised is different entirely. It's not for this purpose of this argument, for this conversation. You get me now? Drilling down to this particular tax reforms, do you get me now? All the issues that Madam Ene has brought up, which have come into play here now, I think that those issues, you get me now, are not for the tax authorities. Those issues should have come into play very forcefully, very aggressively at the point of conversations leading to where we are today. Now, the tax authorities now have a clear mandate. It is not for them to start deciding whether a sex worker is protected or not. Are you getting me now? It's not for them to decide whether it is being fair or not. They are now, by this new tax law, have now been given legal empowerment, you get me, to go ahead and enforce. So what we should now be talking about now on this channel as Nigerians going forward, because the law has been passed, is how efficient is the system of collection. Do the people in LRS, the people in IRS, all of these IRSs, FIRSs, understand what it is expected of them? Because what we have seen, I was trying to say earlier on, is that most Nigerians, in fact, we say 100% of Nigerians, if it is easy, people will pay their tax. But what we see here now is we have a system that is deliberately rigged. Do you get me now? To be exploited by those inside the tax systems. I have had experiences with the Lagos State part of it. I've had experience with the with the federal part of it. The Lagos State part of it, I'm not just saying this because you guys are my friends, though, has been beautiful. Do you get technology driven? Beautiful. Absolutely. Do you get? I get emails. I get even everything is technology driven. Little or no human involvement in it. Do you get me now? So I willingly pay my tax. At the state level. The same thing with Ekiti. I know Ekiti very well. The Ekiti people, you can sit there anywhere in the world and pay your tax in Ekiti. Okay. But when you go to the other side of it, do you get me now? It's a problem. One thing is to have all of these things. Let's assume, for the sake of the miracle that's happened now, we are able to go beyond this where we are today now. Do you get me now? Are the tax authorities at the federal level, do you get me now? At the state level, at the local government level, are they prepared internally? Do you get me now? To handle this situation, this thing now? Because if we are able to achieve 100% efficiency in tax collections, every Nigerian will pay tax.
Okay, let's get back. Let's get to Ene because we're almost rounding up. Can we have one more last question for you from Ene? Ene, you've spoken about the disadvantages that a lot of sex workers face in the hands of authority. So will taxing sex workers mean for women already living in, what does it mean for women already living in poverty? Would it mean exploitation or lack of opportunity, or would it even push them into further vulnerability?
I think when we look at what Nigerians are facing, and then Nigerian women, and when you look at where they are and what they are going through, is we have to look at different segments of it. You have people who have the brothel. The brothel, you know, is in a different class of its own. The commercial sex workers who are on their own and in the hotels, none of them, they are not protected. So has the government even done, you know, researches, data collection to know exactly? Can you give the statistics for the women who are working in that area? And then when you are talking of, they are most vulnerable. I'm happy that the guy from the tax authority is talking about you know, a kind of leverage that about 800 million, 800,000. You know, how many of these people are earning up to that point? We have to look at the issue of vulnerability. Can you protect them? The governments that are collecting heavy taxes, when you go to their place, for example, someone like me, I shouldn't be paying school fees for children because of the heavy taxation that we go through. Your children are protected, the education of your children are taken, your health is covered, and so many things are covered. In Nigeria, you pay heavy taxes, and then you are still responsible for those who are poor in your community. So some of you who are sitting in the studio there, I can ask you, how many school fees are you paying for other people? These are responsibilities of government. They are not doing that, and they want to be collecting money and to be doing what with the money? We want to know transparency and accountability is not there in governance, and you want to start shipping this into vulnerability. I think one of the first things that we should do is look at, if you want to legalize, you can legalize, but you have to protect these women, you have to provide for them. The other climes, they will provide even accommodation for their citizens who are not able to have accommodation. Who is providing that in Nigeria?
Okay,
who is looking at that? The political class, the governments, and so on. So I think it will further push them into more vulnerability. These women need to be protected. They are daughters of the land. They are having children, and they all need to be protected. They are Nigerians too.
Thank you so much, Ene. Any last words?
Yes,
because we're running out in a minute.
Yes, I'd like to speak about the ease of doing business, which is what we have always championed. I mean, before this new tax law, we have come up with our e-tax platform, which is a digital end-to-end process where you can file your returns, pay your tax,
But she just
get your tax clearance
how many of them even earn the 800,000?
So for the 800, nonetheless, whether you earn up to that or not, the obligation to file, that's why I say tax compliance does not have to do with just payment of tax. It's to file your returns honestly and then pay if there's any tax due therefrom.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Last word, Edgar. Quick.
Okay, please don't tax sex worker. That's my own. Because if you tax sex worker, you are increasing the cost. And you are putting more pressure on the ordinary man. Already, condom started at 20 kobo. Is now 6,500.
For how many? For a packet?
For a packet.
How many in a packet?
6,500. 6,500 a packet now. So if you now add consumption tax on top of it again, no,
This is personal income
whatever I say, the woman providing the service will also add it on top of the something.
Yeah.
To further kill the man.
We must all contribute to the pot.
Leave sex workers alone. Go and tax.
We must all contribute
your people.
to nation
Leave
building.
sex workers alone. I beg you.
They are part of pressure relievers. I'm
God
sure.
bless you. What
But if you're under pressure, you cannot perform. And if you cannot perform, you cannot earn a good income. And if you cannot earn enough income, you cannot tax.
Sex workers alone.
Okay, thank you so much.
That's the anti-route.
Sorry, what did you say?
Tax people. Your high income earner.
Okay. From your mouth to God's ears. Anyway, thank you so much. The lines between survival, consent, and commerce remain blurred, and so do the boundaries between morality and policy. And as morality continues to intersect with money, one practical question remains. How do we task a system that reflects both the realities of our economy and the values of our society? As I keep saying, life is a learning curve. That's all we have time for today on Perspectives with me, Rose Osime. Until next week, when I hope to be here again, by the grace of God, do have a blissful week. Goodbye.
Okay, guys, thanks for watching. See you guys in my next update. Please don't forget to like, share, and drop your opinion in the comment section below. With that being said, see you in my next update. One love.